You'll see two identical images and you'll have to find differences within a period of time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Evgeny is looking at Whirlwind, a reproduction of the famous artwork by Russian painter Philippe Malevin. The original version is on the left. The modified version is on the right. However, Evgeny doesn't know that. He also doesn't know that the difference between the two images is in this tiny fragment. Both images are saturated not only in color, but also in details. Still, it took Evgeny about 20 seconds to find the difference.
What is the difference then?
There's this green spot here. Here,
Yes.
this spot is absent.
It's amazing how fast and faultlessly Evgeny coped with the task. But Whirlwind is just a warm-up. The experts prepared a new pair of images.
Well, not easy.
Our program is not interested in easy. However, frankly speaking, it should be mentioned that the reproduction of this work, Moving People, by Dutch painter Caroline Vies, is really difficult to perceive. Painted in abstract, impressionist style, it contains such a number of details that it seems impossible to catch them all. Almost a minute has passed, and Evgeny has no answer yet, probably because there's a trick in the pair of the images. The original reproduction is on the left. The image on the right is not only modified here in the middle part, but on the whole, it has less resolution. Will Evgeny notice?
Frankly speaking, I can't find, because the whole image looks like a big difference. It's difficult to call the images similar because there are some elements here which are outside of this image. This yellow spot is moving aside. They have different scales, and my method, unfortunately, isn't working correctly.
You're right that the images are different in size, but despite this, you can try to find the difference between elements which you have to cut out, figuratively speaking, this element from the left image and find the difference. I can tell you that the difference is here, in that part which you can see.
Aha.
Please try.
For the next 3 minutes, Evgeny honestly tried to distinguish the differences in the central parts of the images, but he couldn't find them. Actually, the experts already have a ready-made hypothesis why this happened. They'll share it with us a bit later.
Evgeny, to definitely make sure of your phenomenal ability, we'll ask you to do it a third time.
The work Blind Spots by famous American painter Jackson Pollock was chosen for the third pair of images. This image is very complex and extremely saturated with details. It seems that Evgeny feels uncomfortable. Indeed, he can't see any differences again. This is no accident. There's a trick in these images as well. But the experts prepared this task not just because they're cunning. They wanted to check their hypothesis and finally explain the nature of Evgeny's abilities.
I suppose this is a tiny spot again, right?
Obviously, our participant doesn't have even the slightest idea as to where the difference is hidden.
It seems you can't figure it out, correct?
It's quite very difficult.
Well, let's say that you can't find it.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Calm. Relax.
But I wonder where.
Relax. That's it. Are you with us? Listen to me. I intentionally provoked you having said that there was a small difference. There are no differences here. And you didn't find them. And you didn't find them. It was purely an experiment. I intentionally said so to persuade you that there are differences here. Well, so to speak, as a whole, the results are extremely interesting. In the test where the images were different in size and couldn't find it. That's correct. Because
No, as for the second image, when I already knew where it was located,
what did you feel?
what did I feel? Every difference is a small conflict. Both the left and the right images seem to break through somehow, try to go to the forefront, and it causes the conflict. There was a big conflict here, so
The detection of mistakes. I see.
even when I didn't know where the spot was located, if these images were really similar, then probably. Though it's hard to say I would find it. Probably not at once, despite the fact that it's tiny.
Our hypothesis is that you overlay two images. Do you understand? So when the size was different, you couldn't overlay them at all. And you got lost.
Yes.
It's impossible, you know.
No, I couldn't.
In terms of overlaying, they're absolutely different. In terms of intellectual analysis, they're quite similar. We found all the differences much faster than you. We did it very fast because we did it differently. We don't overlay them. No, we don't. But our opinions differ. I think that you don't use your memory, but you see both images simultaneously. Yes, my colleagues think that you remember one image to some extent and overlay the first image with the second.